Hello everyone and welcome to Pros Abilities. Welcome to our new cooking show. No, I'm just kidding. I've had a pretty productive day today. I've cleaned my entire apartment, which I've been needing to for a long time. I did not realize how much everything has built up. In the meantime, it's after 6 o'clock and I still haven't had dinner yet. So I'm going to film while I work on my jambalaya. Never made this before, but I'm sure it's going to turn out awesome. If anyone's interested, I'll put the recipe in the description below. You guys get to see me a bit frumpy today because, well, it's Sunday, I spent the day cleaning, and I love you guys, but I'm not getting dressed up for you. So if you guys remember back to my reintroduction video, I mentioned that there were some things in my life I'm trying to change beyond just vlogging and writing. The worst part of living alone is that I have to cook for myself the majority of the time. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm an awesome cook. I love eating my own cooking. But it gets boring cooking for yourself day after day after day. I don't eat nearly as often as I should. I'm prone to skipping breakfast and eating whatever is at work. I'm pretty good at eating lunch. My boss gives me worried faces when I don't. On the weekends, I'm known to eat one meal a day. And I can justify that. I sit on the couch all day. I don't need that much calorie intake. Besides, most of the time I don't actually feel hungry. It's not like I'm starving myself on purpose. I just don't feel like eating. I'll eat if there's food in front of me, but I rarely feel the need to go and find food, go through the effort of making it myself. This is all a really bad habit of mine that I started back in college. You see, I've always had a complicated relationship with food. Food is one of my absolute favorite things about being alive. If there's food in front of me or if I'm trying something new, I could eat all day. I love the way it brings people together and how much fun you can try with food. I love the different ingredients and flavors and spices and how it all works together to create something you would never in a million years imagine. Back in high school, when we were learning about eating disorders, I used to joke I could never have one because I love food way too much. And while it's true that I still have never been diagnosed with an eating disorder, I will admit I don't have the healthiest relationship with food. In college, I didn't view myself as awesome as I know I am today. I was struggling with a lot of self-confidence issues. In college, I worked 2 jobs while going to school full-time. I lived with a roommate off campus, so I had to pay all those bills. I had a car payment, and unfortunately, I have parents who aren't so good with money, and so begged a lot of my student loans off of me. So I didn't have a lot of money for food, and I didn't have a lot of time for it either. This is really hard to talk about. On days when I was struggling, days that I didn't think I was doing everything I needed to do, that I wasn't doing my best, I didn't get as good a grade on that assignment as I wanted, I didn't know all the answers to the tests that I tried, I wasn't as present in the clubs and activities I was in, got a subpar evaluation at work. I never deliberately did it, but looking back, I realized that I used food as a punishment. If I didn't do well enough that day, I didn't really deserve to eat. I needed to save that time that I would use on eating and go get shit done instead. And only if I'd done really well, then I could have a special treat. While I have a much better self-esteem nowadays, a lot of that mentality still sticks with me. I don't do it deliberately. I love food, and I know I need to eat more than I do, but I let myself get easily distracted. I mean, there's Tumblr, there's YouTube, there's the internet. I work full time. Afterwards, I might go to a board meeting, I might go to a community event. Who knows what I'm going to be doing on my average evening? Also, like I mentioned, cooking for yourself day after day gets really boring. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of nights I just don't eat. I probably shouldn't leave the seeds in these peppers, but I really, really like spicy, so I'm gonna do it. No one around me knows that it's this bad, and even then I wouldn't say it's that bad. I mean, clearly I'm eating well enough, but I know my eating habits are not healthy. So this is one of the things I decided that I was gonna do to, fix my life, if you will. Unfortunately, when compared to things like YouTube and writing, I'm kind of second at it. I haven't actually changed my habits all that much. I have a lovely friend who feeds me every Tuesday when I go over for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She recommended a leftover swap. That way I can get some new food in my mix. It's also a great idea, I think, because then I'm accountable to make something that makes leftovers so I have something to swap. We haven't yet started that. We're both terribly busy people, but that's something I'm really looking forward to. So thank you, my lovely friend, for suggesting it. So other than the leftover swap, I'm also spending some time checking out recipes, both online and in my cookbooks. I've got 3 books in the living room right now for recipes. I'm going to sift through them and find stuff that I'd like to eat that can either be made for one. I have 2 cookbooks that are cooking for one, or saved pretty well so that I can eat leftovers. I'm revisiting some old favorites that's been a while, and I'm going to start looking at how I do my grocery shopping. See, I kind of hate going to the grocery store, so I tend to buy for the entire month. That doesn't lend itself well to eating fresh things because they don't last the whole month. So I eat some really nice fresh stuff at the beginning of my shopping month, and then I'm stuck with canned and frozen dinner by the end of the month, which, as you can imagine, is not always the most appetizing. It's not likely that I'm going to go to the grocery store every week because the fact of the matter is I hate grocery shopping, but I am going to try to go at least every other week. Also, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to ask one of my friends if they wanted to be my grocery buddy. I love doing things with other people. I always have and I always will. And in college, I loved grocery shopping because my roommate and I could banter back and forth about what we should get, and we could bounce ideas off of each other, and we could come up with some amazing dishes for pretty cheap because we were both there thinking together. So I don't know how likely that is to happen because, my friends are just as busy as I am, and our schedules don't always align. But maybe it wouldn't hurt to ask. You guys need to see this. I'm really amused by how specific it is. Best Buy October 2nd, 2016 at 2 a.m. Awesome. But the fact of the matter is, I know that these are all temporary measures. That without the right motivation and without the right skill set, I'm not likely to continue doing them. I'm likely to fall back into my same habits. And while I'm definitely not starving, I feel like I eat plenty, and usually when I don't eat, it's because I don't feel hungry. I know there's some deeper psychological impacts to why my eating habits developed the way they did. And I don't know if I have the skill set to fix that. So I need to solve this eating problem on my own. Whether that's looking for new recipes or going to talk to a professional, I don't know yet, but I do need to work on it. I guess the hopeful note of this blog, because I always try to find one, is that even though I've got this ongoing issue that I need to work out, I've improved a lot since college when it first developed. I don't have the same body issues that I did. I mean, yeah, I'm just as fluffy as I was then, but I'm hot, so who cares? I may be predisposed to this problem, who knows? But I firmly believe that I can change it. I've changed other things about myself that led to unhappiness before, and this is one of those. So I'm going to keep working at it. Luckily, this week is the week of the best food ever. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the US. Just in time to show off the fruits of my labor. Oh, fucking delicious. So this is normally where I'd sign off and tell you to go read your favorite book or fan fiction, but I'm going to be honest, I'd be a little bit hypocritical because right now I'm going to excuse myself to enjoy this wonderful jambalaya over Jessica Drew. I'll see you all next week. Why can't I fucking talk today? So other than the